Hi everyone, my name is Fiona Forbes and today I am with the one and only Julian LeBlanc from, of course, the LeBlanc School of Acting. Julian, how are you?
I am so excited. I can't even, I have no words.
Here we are, and we're going to talk about you. You are in the hot seat today, my
Me?
friend. Yes, you are. Let's talk about the LeBlanc School of Acting. A lot of people are familiar with it. You have a ton of very successful students, but tell us the story of LeBlanc.
Oh my goodness. Well, I was born and raised in Moncton, New Brunswick, in foster care from age 2 all the way to 18. Love my foster parents, Heather and Paul. If I wanted to act, if I wanted to sing, if I wanted to dance, they would put me in it. And I actually was a dancer first.
Really?
Yep, I was a dancer first. That's when I fell in love with the arts. And later on, when I went to the Canadian College of Performing Arts at 18 in Victoria, that's where my love for acting came from. And once I fell in love with acting, I knew that was it.
That was it.
I knew I was going to pursue it, and I always wanted to teach. I always wanted to educate and work with young people. I grew up in a big home.
And now, how many siblings did you have in your foster home?
You're not going to believe this. Yes.
A few.
A few, like 12, 13.
Really?
Few. Mm-hmm.
Really? How do you think that your upbringing you were fortunate to be with the same foster family throughout your youth, but how did that make you who you are today, having, a dozen siblings and also a supportive environment to allow you to pursue the arts?
Yeah, so for me, having that support meant a lot because growing up, I didn't always feel like I belonged because, you're not adopted. You don't live with your biological parents.
Mm-hmm.
You hear kids at school say things. So I often felt like an outsider. And so seeing my foster parents try so hard to help me find my place and find my voice, they were definitely an inspiration for me. And I consider them my parents even now. And so when I think of empowering young people, I did have that from them.
That's amazing.
They did empower me to be my best.
And tell me more about that aha moment when you found acting and found your place. I remember the specific moment for myself when I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I want to do, but I want to be on a television set doing something for the rest of my life. What was your moment? What was your aha moment?
My aha moment was, honestly, my first time on set. It was a small actor role in the ABC Family series Kyle XY.
I remember that one.
Kyle XY. Season 3, I auditioned for Heike and Corrine at North Shore, and it was piano playing boy, okay? And I can't play the piano. Cannot. And so I was kind of nervous. I'm like, I'm not sure what to do with this. And anyway, so I auditioned. What they were looking for in the end was someone that could show a reaction to something happening in the recital hall. So they needed an actor still that could act. And so I booked the role, I went on set, and honestly, it was that first experience of seeing everything together, having my trailer, talking to the director, working with the other actors. That was it for me.
You're like, I have arrived.
The magic. The magic, yeah.
Okay, so we have to talk about, obviously, growing up, singing, dancing, acting, finding that moment, your aha moment. Now, where did the acting school come into the equation? Because that's kind of a big move to start an acting school.
Yeah.
It's not an easy feat, but when did you decide to go in that direction with your career?
I had taken a lot of classes and learned from some great people. And I've always known that I'm a very uniquely unique person. And I embrace that. I own that. And I want my students to embrace that too. There's not one kid that's the same. Not one. And so that's important to me. That you're not trying to be someone else. Let's shine the qualities that make you so special. And so I knew I wanted to start a school that would do things differently, that wouldn't just be the same thing. I didn't want to have a school that focused too much on script work. I wanted to do a school that was more about the technique, more about the tools that young people could use right away in their auditions, in their callbacks, on set, whatever it may be.
Is this what is known as the LeBlanc Way?
That's the LeBlanc Way. That's the LeBlanc Way.
And did I just witness a Julianism?
That's a Julianism. And I'm impressed that you said the LeBlanc Way.
I'm experiencing it all, people.
Let's do it together. Okay, that's the LeBlanc Way. And our students have fun kind of saying that because most of our terms go 8 weeks. And in the 8 weeks, they'll only do scripts a couple times. So the rest of it is technique exercises that we build, really working on different pinpointed things that they need. And we never repeat. No term is ever the same. So we build every curriculum from the ground up each term.
And why did you decide to, I mean, because it is a niche, having an acting school for kids and youth, and some people might not, it's not necessarily an easy niche as well. Teaching adults is a completely different thing than teaching kids and youth. So why did you go with the youngins?
I'm a big kid. And it's like, people remind me sometimes, Julian, you're an adult now. And it's like, I don't want to be. No, I mean, honestly, what I love the most about working with young people is they have this creative spark that burns so bright. It's like this flame that's ready to go. They don't overthink. They dive in. And just being a part of that process so early on with them.
It's magical.
It's magical because we're not just teaching them acting skills, we're teaching them life skills too. So like public speaking, teamwork, time management, all of that stuff, confidence building, So it's like we're doing that, but it's also like if they decide to do something else in the future, whether they want to be a politician or a lawyer or just start their own business, some of those skills are going to stay with them.
Confidence. For sure. It's such an important thing. Well, let's talk about one of the kids because, Julian, when you asked me to do this interview, the answer was yes, of course. And I was like, gosh, she seems familiar. And so I phoned my best friend, and her daughter is one of your shining stars, Alex Leffler. So let's take her as an example of a student and what you do for a child actor like Alex. I mean, her career, I don't doubt, she's going to be a movie star to the next A-lister. So how do you take that and hone her skills so that when she walks on a set, she has to be a mermaid on Sirens, or she's with Jessica Chastain and Eddie Redmayne. How do you coach and teach a child of her caliber?
Well, for instance, someone like Alex, she already has so much raw natural talent. And so what we like to do at LeBlanc is we like to fine-tune that. We like to polish that up. We don't want to take away what already makes her so naturally special, because that's part of the presence that she has when she walks into a room. What I wanted to do instead was give her more techniques, more things that she can use to give her a competitive edge when she's auditioning against, let's say, quite a few other strong, talented actors. So it's about giving the competitive edge, because we know she's not competing against people that are newer to the industry for most projects. So how do we have her stand out with other professionals? With other young professionals. So giving her, tips of the trade, little things that she won't get anywhere else.
And what is your technique when it comes to kids and nerves? Because adults, of course, we have them. Nerves are normal. It's what happens to people. But for kids, it might be hard to understand that adrenaline when they get into an audition, or freaking out when you forget a line. It happens to everybody. But how do you coach kids through that part of their education?
So funny you say that, because I had nerves today meeting this legend.
No, let's talk about that. We're going to take a pause here, because Julian, when you and I chatted on the phone yesterday, you said you had a dream about being interviewed by me.
I did. So, and I haven't told her this yet.
No.
So this is an exclusive, okay? Ever since I was 18 years old the first time I saw you on TV. And I remember watching several of your interviews, and it was just something that was, I can't explain what it was, but I wanted to be that guest in the seat. I wanted to be that person one day. And I remember saying to myself, work hard, do good, share your passions. One day you'll be interviewed by Fiona Forbes.
You make me cry. That is so sweet.
I'm not kidding. I'm almost like, so the fact that that's full circle.
Aw, and we're here today. But let's talk about your nerves, because you were nervous to be interviewed by me, but you are such an amazing human being. But how do you teach the kids about nerves? Because like I said, you have them today. I had them before this interview. I always have them, but what about kids?
Well, I'm glad that you said that, because in a way I kind of got to put to practice what I say to my kids. So one of the things that I tell them is I say, if you're nervous, it matters to you. So with young people, what I notice is when they do get nervous, they almost correlate that to a negative experience. This is bad, I'm nervous. And so what we teach them at LeBlanc is, if you're nervous, awesome, fantastic, marvelous, wonderful. Seriously, because it means it matters to you.
Absolutely.
And so what I tell them is meditate on that a little bit. Breathe in, breathe out, slow, long, deep breaths. Remember to visualize why it is you're doing it in the first place and why it matters to you. And I find that that anchors you down immediately. And another thing too that people forget is being nervous is anatomy. So it's
adrenaline, excitement.
Exactly. It's part of...
It doesn't have to be fear or bad.
Yeah, it's part of the human experience. It's part of being a human being. And so we teach them to not see it as, not see it as a bad thing, but seeing it as a superpower, actually. Because
and what about you? What about Julian? What is it like for you when you see one of your students excel or get that first job, or maybe they get their dream gig? What is it like for you to see your students excel?
I feel emotion. I get, there's nothing better for me. Like, I can already feel it kind of creeping up on me, like the emotions. I just love seeing young people having a chance at this dream, because there were times when I was younger, I wasn't sure if I'd have that chance. I wasn't always sure I would. I'm also a proud LGBTQ+ entrepreneur. There was a long road with that and accepting.
And coming out is never easy for anyone.
No, coming out's, I look at it now and I go, I'm really proud to be who I am, but it wasn't always easy. And so at LeBlanc School of Acting, we definitely, one of our core values is inclusion and diversity. That's super important to me. Like, it's part of the DNA of our school.
How do you think that being the outsider that you said that you were as a kid, being in foster care, which is never an easy road, you were lucky with the family that you were with, obviously, but it's not an easy road for any kid. How do you think being an outsider played into you choosing this path, this journey for you to have an acting school for kids and youth to succeed, to become not just necessarily an actor, but more confident, more successful?
I like that question, because I think for me, being an outsider, it allowed me to not only handle rejection better too, because part of this industry is we're told no so many times, and we have to be okay with that. And when you're an outsider, you were told no before...
You didn't even get asked.
That's what I'm saying. You weren't even asked.
Yeah.
So it's not even you getting that chance to even say no. It already was no. You were no to people. And I think when you have that perspective, you can share with your young talent. You can share with your students how important it is for them to be unapologetically them. Because in this industry, there's a lot of people trying to be something else that's already out there. Yeah. Almost like a cookie cutter of what's there. But here's the thing. There is no you. There is no you. Even identical twins, they have done studies where one likes spicy food, one doesn't.
They're unique.
Yeah. One might be vegan.
Yeah.
One might not be. So even with identical twins, there's differences. Mm-hmm. So you have to embrace what makes you like nobody else out there in the world. And I always say in film and TV, we need you because there is no other you. We need you because there's no other you. And I think being an outsider,
it gives you a certain resilience that I don't think people who haven't been on that side of things can understand.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the thing. It helps you tell that story because you feel a connection to it.
Absolutely. So, what is next for the LeBlanc School of Acting in 2022? Big things, big dreams, well, tell us what's happening.
So, it's just so cool to see. We would be nothing without our parents and guardians and our amazing young actors, because when LeBlanc started back in 2015, we were 30, 40 students, and to see it grow.
Because you're worldwide now.
We're worldwide now. We have a UK division. We're also in the States, across Canada. We have students in Colombia, Argentina, Germany.
Amazing.
It astounds me, and I'm very humbled by it. It just reminds me of the support that we've received. And I will never take that for granted. And so for me, I always want to do my best to make sure that our parents know that. So what's next? Well, we're going to bring some new workshops, some new camps that we haven't done before. I'm hoping to actually expand the Julian LeBlanc brand a bit too, just sort of as someone behind the school, someone that fronts the school. I kind of want to do more. I want to share my story a little bit more.
You just did. You laid it out on the table, friend.
So
2022 is it going to be 2022? Oh my gosh.
No, we're not. Is it?
Is
well,
it?
Hold on. We're
2021.
Wait, what are we right now?
21.
So next year's
2022. Isn't it?
What?
Somebody tell me, right?
2022 next year. Wow.
See, we all got ripped off of 2 years. Trust us, between the two of us, we know what day it is, people.
Yes, we do.
But lots of exciting things in the works.
A lot of exciting things in the works. We wanna continue to grow organically, because we take pride in no one being a number at LeBlanc. Mm-hmm. We love taking that time, spending the time. We love hearing about our families, what they're going through, what we can do to support their families. We're kind of seen as a working actor school for youth, but we love working with newer and developing actors that want to become acting professionals too. Mm-hmm. So we're not as much a recreational school. We want to really help them do this. Yeah. We want to see them on set. We want to see them do this. Well,
you have so many success stories under your belt, and Julian, it was an absolute pleasure, my friend. Here we are.
It's real.
It's real. It happened.
She's not a figment of my imagination. This is not a hallucination.
It happened, people. And if you want to find out more, you have to follow the LeBlanc School of Acting on Instagram, and you can check out the website as well. Julian, it has been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you again next time. I'm Fiona Forbes.